ultimately with our kids, like we're trying to work through these behaviors and regulating and just creating safety in the home. And I know that, you know, I've been there with you guys, and so I know that it's, some of it is so outrageous, the behaviors, that you can't even believe that this is what you're doing as a parent, you know, that you're trying to control this level of chaos. But I don't want you to forget just how important our families are and the joy that we get in those connections, and really what we're trying to do in the big scope of things. You know, that our families, it's not really about how many chores we get done or how much schoolwork happens, or you know, how successful our kids are. You know, when you have kids that come from hard places or kids that have serious emotional or behavior issues, there is like a survival mode to getting through it. But it is because, like, these kids really just, they need our family. And so, you know, spending some time really thinking about what our family is and what we stand for and what our values are, and creating not just routines. The routines are a really big part of the program, and creating that sense of stability and safety and who's in charge. But also in those routines, we also create kind of traditions of, like, this is how we do it in our family. You know, it can be simple things like everybody has certain places where they sit, to how we greet people, to how we connect with other people that come into our home. But these are things that also kind of build a sense of connection and joy. So remember, first you need to be able to regulate, co-regulate, get your kids to be able to calm down, to get yourself calm. But then that next step is to really have some kind of connection. And we do have connection through doing things. We have connection through, you know, the things that we do together as a family, but also like some of the things that are on this, that we have on the schedule, like having family games or a family movie night, or a tradition of having a hot drink in the mornings before we start the day. You know, whatever it is that we can build in, that kind of build in that connection. Your kids that have attachment issues, whether it's from adoption or because they were away from you for periods of time, you know, whatever those reasons are, like, we have to work really hard to build those connections. And then when our kids have severe emotional and behavior issues, we also have to work really hard to build connections, because connections get broken along with trust and, you know, the safety and all of that. So as you're building safety, I just, you know, felt really pressed to just remind you that it's not about, you know, how much homework or chores or, you know, things that we get done. Our families are really, you know, we have to help our kids, these kids with these difficulties, to process their emotions, to how to work through their emotions, how to work through a disappointment of being told no. Like, you know, we may have felt like, you know, they're acting like a 2-year-old when they get denied a request, you know, and they probably are acting like a 2-year-old, but it is our job to help them learn how to ride that out and handle that. If they get frustrated when you're playing a game or, you know, doing something together, then taking that time to help them learn to, you know, let's get calm, let's finish this task together, like we can do this. You know, it's one of the things I see too, like when we do the program, we put a lot of structure in place, and I want you to be in charge as the parents, but part of that is also like to be in charge so that you can connect and do these things together. These kids need a lot of together, a lot of connection, a lot of okay, come on, let's go, let's do this. And, you know, and helping them when they hit these hard things or they hit these emotions, like, you know, helping them to work through those things instead of just resorting to anger and destruction. So and as you build those connections, like, your joy really does increase too. So if you're having a lot of struggles and you're like, oh, why am I doing this, or, you know, want to give up, I just want to encourage you to dig deep and to, you know, think about what you want your family to be and what you want your kids to remember about being in the family. And even though you're going to remember these hard things and you probably have some PTSD from it, that you that above all, that you guys were able to have those times of connecting and those things that made your family, because that's really, I mean, ultimately, like, what else are we doing this for? So I just wanted to encourage you in that. Have a great day.